Hey everybody, Michael Snyder, Pacific Northwest Weather Watch. Today is December 6th, and right now we're looking at the infrared satellite imagery. This was as of about 24 hours ago. You can see that atmospheric river extended all the way back above the Hawaiian Islands here, stretching into the Pacific Northwest, and that's what's brought all this flooding across the region. It's still with us. It's still hanging across portions of Washington and Oregon as we speak, and sorry to say we've got more to come after that as well. We'll look at that as we go through the video here today, but you can see the system now swinging through here. The worst of it is done. The snow levels have dropped here, so that very heavy rainfall across the higher terrain at least is not now running down into the rivers. But there's some areas that were very hard hit from this atmospheric river, and some areas along the Oregon coast here are still dealing with some moderate rainfall ongoing, with just huge precipitation amounts across some of the coastal areas and the Cascades as well. So heads up for that. I've had some messages that people were actually cut off in their community, just kind of sitting there. They weren't actively flooding themselves, but they couldn't go anywhere because the rivers and the streams were over roadways and the water was so high. And this is looking at the visible satellite imagery. We've got more activity behind the system here. Then we've got another fairly warm system going to try to move through here this weekend as well. We'll show you those details as we go through the video here this morning. Check out some of these 72-hour totals. I mean, just some ridiculous amounts, just really huge. Even across some of the lower elevations here, you're talking about some areas with 4+ inches across a lot of the Seattle metro, some of the southern Puget Sound. We're looking off in towards the foothills, and check out this dramatic rain shadow across Whidbey Island. Look at this very light precipitation amounts, relatively speaking. Look at Mount Pilchuck, not very far away here. You can almost walk that distance. Over 8 inches of rain in some areas, got even higher amounts, but you can see across where the Skykomish River Basin, there's some huge amounts, and that's why we had the huge flooding across some of the area yesterday. This is looking down more towards the Portland metro, also the big amounts across the Olympic Mountains, the Oregon coastal range here in the Cascades. You guys get the picture. And one more look across some of the Oregon coast where huge rainfall amounts have fallen. It's still raining down there as well. And this is looking at day 4. So they have a slight already out for day 4. So that is not good news. And this may be trended upwards a bit north here. We'll see how this goes over the next couple of days. But this is not good news because it's going to raise the freezing levels a bit. It's not going to be as dramatic as last round, but it's still coming. And this is looking at the combination of Doppler radars. You can still see where that precipitation is still ongoing across portions of Washington, Oregon. Again, the main thing here is that snow levels have finally started to drop back down. So a lot of that across the higher terrain won't be running off into the river areas and the river basins there. Now, let's go ahead and jump back into things here if I can find it. Again, there's that slight risk, and this is going to be for Saturday morning through Sunday morning. We'll watch that one very closely as we go. This is the day 1 excessive rainfall outlook, and it makes sense right now, kind of wrapping things up for the most part. This is current river flooding, and the Stillaguam, which was pretty active yesterday, reached a record high crest out there, and some areas are still dealing with moderate flooding. Right now, nobody in major flood stage, but that does not mean that there aren't places that are underwater, and a lot of roadways are underwater, so watch out for that. If you see, the flooded roadways, turn around, don't drown. You guys know the drill. Here's the Stillaguamish River at Arlington also. I wanted to talk about this. The record, the crest peak, 21.2, actually broke that yesterday with that 21.3. I was out there doing some drone work yesterday, and some of the communities were just completely cut off. Multiple areas underwater out there, so you can kind of see how it's dropped way back down below even the action stage here, but pretty dramatic flooding there yesterday. Now, looking at the 12Z run, and you can see where this atmospheric river continues across the area, continues to bring some rain. Don't be surprised to see some rain off and on across western Washington, the Cascades, as we go through the day today. And then you can see some more showery weather rolling in here as we go through tonight and on to tomorrow. So you can see this off and on rainfall. Could even be a thunderstorm across some of the coastal areas, maybe even pushing inland a little bit here. And this continues on into tomorrow afternoon. Showery weather continues. And then we'll take a look at what's coming this weekend in a moment. I froze the HER here because it's having a problem with some of its runs, but you can see that lightning activity trying to make its way in as well as we go through Thursday afternoon. So check it out. This is Gold Beach. Again, still raining on the Oregon coast down there, so watch out for that. And then you can see the next system starting to show up here, potentially more than an inch in a 24-hour period with already extremely saturated soils. Could be a problem. This is looking at 24-hour running total here, so this is as of tonight, Wednesday night, and you can see that we're going to bring that stuff back up in here, that that showery nature here, but it still could have some pretty decent rainfall amounts. And then we scroll on into the future a little bit here, and there comes our warmer system. And as you can see, it's targeting again some of the coastal areas here in the Cascades of Washington, British Columbia, Vancouver Island could get another bout of some pretty interesting rainfall totals here on top of what we already got. And that would occur this weekend here. So we're going to watch this very closely over the next couple of days to see how this system trends, because things are very saturated, and we're starting to talk about landslide potential across some of the area here as well. And hopefully we get a break after that. But this is looking at the European last night's run, and this is 6 hour. So we clicked through here 6 hours at a time, and you can see Thursday's precipitation up over the region there. And then we get a little bit of a break before Saturday afternoon rolls around, and Saturday night, Sunday morning. Again, you guys get the picture here with some increased moderate rainfall, again, covering much of the region with rising snow levels. Again, won't be quite as high as last time, like I said, but still cause for concern. Here's Stampede Pass, not looking too good by the time you get towards Sunday morning when that precipitation is falling. Some of the pass areas and some of the mid-range areas up in the mountains, the mid-level altitudes out there are going to be in rainfall, although some of the higher areas will be getting snow during that event. This is looking at Paradise here, and you can kind of see that system rolling in here. It may be snowfall for Paradise here, but elevations just under that could be all rainfall. And you can kind of see how it uptrended here the last run, 2.5 inches of liquid water there equivalent. So hopefully that's falling as snow, and hopefully the snow levels don't drop as much as they could with this next system. This is Stampede Pass, likely to be all rain, as you saw here, and another 1.23 inches of precipitation expected there. Here's the GFS. Let's see if it's in agreement. You can see our atmospheric pushing through, and the system kind of slides through here on the day tomorrow night, and then we get a little bit of a break before that next system arrives, and you can see pretty good model agreement between the European and the GFS here as it brings another solid shot of precipitation here as we go on in through the weekend. And we badly need a break after that one, because we're going to be talking about landslide issues if that comes in hot and heavy. This is looking at Tacoma Narrows and SeaTac are over that landslide threshold, so I wouldn't be surprised to see some of those landslides start to creep up on some of the higher hills around the area. And of course, this goes for the higher terrain of the foothills and the Cascades as well, where they got bigger amounts, sometimes 2 or 3 times the amount of rain as some of the lower elevations. And these next couple of systems are not going to help with that also as we go through this weekend. But anyway, I just wanted to get this video quickly out here as I could this morning, because we have additional systems out. You can kind of see it back across the Pacific Ocean here, and it could be bringing a warm up across some of the terrain as well. So anyway, yeah, we are not done here across Pacific Northwest. Active December continues. Actually had a very active first part of November. Then we really calmed down for the second half, and now we've really ramped things up again here through December. We're already up over 5 inches of rain here through the first 5 days for places like Seattle. And so, yeah, it could be a December to remember. We'll see how it goes. But yeah, anyway, we'll keep our eyes on that system here over the next couple of days. Hope you guys are liking these videos. Click like and subscribe, and I will talk to you guys tomorrow.